Sophie Cunningham just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire WNBA shaking. And when Caitlin Clark backed her up, the league knew things would never be the same. What started as a simple Instagram post has turned into a movement that's rewriting the rules of women's basketball. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about the Indiana Fever's secret weapon. Remember when everyone said Caitlin Clark needed protection? Well, the Fever didn't just find a bodyguard. They unleashed a hurricane named Sophie Cunningham. And trust me, this isn't your typical basketball story. This is about a farm girl with a black belt who went from kicking field goals in high school to becoming the most talked about player in the WNBA, not named Caitlin Clark. But here's the thing. Nobody saw coming. Sophie didn't just transform herself, she's transforming an entire franchise. Let's rewind to February 2025. The Indiana Fever pull off a 4-team trade that most people barely noticed. Phoenix sends over a 28-year-old guard who averaged 8.4 points the previous season. On paper, it looked like a depth move. In reality, it was like bringing a flamethrower to a water gun fight. General manager Amber Cox knew exactly what she was doing. "Sophie is a player that we have targeted for a while," she said. Translation, we just got ourselves an enforcer and the rest of the league has no idea what's coming. From day one, Sophie made her intentions crystal clear. "Heck yeah, we're about to go win a championship," she declared. No sugarcoating, no media training, just pure Missouri farm girl confidence mixed with 7 years of WNBA experience. And when reporters asked about her role, she laid it out plain as day. "I bring the energy, I bring the feistiness, I'm a little bit sassy." Little did everyone know that sass was about to become the Fever's secret sauce. But Sophie's journey to becoming Caitlin's protector started long before she ever put on a Fever jersey. Picture this, a 6-year-old girl earning a black belt in Taekwondo while other kids are still learning to tie their shoes. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 years old, black belt. Most kids that age are worried about losing their lunch money. Sophie was learning how to flip grown adults. Her dad Jim played football at Mizzou, and Sophie? She took it a step further. When her high school's kicker tore his ACL, guess who stepped up? That's right. Sophie became the first female in school history to score points, nailing 2 of 4 extra point attempts. And get this, she was crowned homecoming queen while wearing her football uniform. Talk about making a statement. Fast forward to June 17th, 2025, a date that will live in WNBA infamy. The Fever are battling the Connecticut Sun in a heated matchup. JC Sheldon pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. The refs swallow their whistles. And that's when Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough. What happened next broke the internet. Sophie storms across the court and delivers justice in the form of a takedown that would make her Taekwondo instructors proud. Sheldon hits the deck. The crowd explodes. And Sophie, she just stands there like, "Yeah, I did that. What about it?" The aftermath was pure chaos. 3 players ejected. Sophie fined $900 according to her own admission. But here's where it gets wild. In less than 24 hours, Sophie's Instagram followers jumped by over 300,000. Her TikTok, it went from under 400,000 to 1.2 million followers. Her jersey sold out on Fanatics within hours. The message was clear. Mess with Caitlin, you mess with Sophie. And apparently, millions of fans were here for it. But the real tea came when Sophie went on her podcast and exposed what really went down in WNBA locker rooms. "Even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks that Phoenix had," she revealed. Like, no, we're going to show her what the W really is. She basically confirmed what everyone suspected. Teams were deliberately targeting Caitlin Clark to toughen her up. Well, Sophie had other plans. In the Fever locker room after that Connecticut game, Caitlin reportedly exclaimed one word: "Finally!" Finally, someone had her back. Finally, someone sent a message. Finally, the Fever had their enforcer. And Sophie wasn't done speaking truth to power. When the WNBA announced expansion teams in Detroit and Cleveland, most players stayed quiet. Not Sophie. "Man, I don't know how excited people are to be going to Detroit or Cincinnati," she said, accidentally mixing up Cleveland with Cincinnati. The cities clapped back on social media. Fans went wild. But Sophie, she doubled down and clarified she just wanted teams in Miami and Nashville where players would actually want to live. No filter, no apologies, just Sophie being Sophie. The numbers tell a story of their own. Since joining the Fever, Sophie's been on fire, averaging 13.4 points in her last 5 games before our research, hitting 3.0 three-pointers per contest. all 8 shot attempts from deep in one game. This isn't just protection duty, this is elite basketball. And when Caitlin was sidelined with injury, Sophie stepped up huge. 15 points against the Liberty, 4 for 5 from the field against the Aces. The girl who came to protect became the one opponents needed protection from. Like this video if you think Sophie Cunningham is exactly what the WNBA needed. And make sure you're subscribed because this story is far from over. But here's where Sophie really shook the table. During the WNBA's collective bargaining negotiations, reporters asked about the season length. Sophie's response? You can just tell Cathy to pay us, and then we can have a discussion. Tell Cathy, the commissioner, to pay us on live television. The audacity, the confidence, the absolute legend energy. Most players tiptoe around money talk. Sophie kicked the door down and demanded what they deserve. And when the league fined her $500 for a TikTok video poking fun at the refs, she posted about it and turned it into content. The video got over 1 million views. Sophie literally monetized her own fine. That's not just smart. That's genius-level trolling. The WNBA tried to silence her, and she turned it into a viral moment. You can't make this stuff up. Speaking of going viral, let's talk about Sophie's off-court transformation. This isn't the same player who lived off Taco Bell in college. We're talking about a complete lifestyle revolution, partnering with Quest Nutrition to fuel her body properly. Working with GMC not as a celebrity, but as a working athlete. Training at her grandparents' 75-acre farm in Missouri during the off-season, morning workouts that would break most people, afternoon trail rides and creek fishing. This is Farm Strong meets Basketball Elite. And the fashion game, Sophie's taking no prisoners. Remember when she showed up in that colorblind mini dress that had everyone talking? Her mom Paula picked it out, and it became an instant classic. From cowgirl chic to streetwear queen, Sophie's serving looks that match her on-court intensity. Nearly 150,000 Instagram followers aren't just there for basketball highlights. They're there for the full Sophie experience. Gym vlogs, beach shots, teammate dance-offs, and zero pretense. But let's get back to basketball because that's where Sophie's really making history. When she dropped 16 points and 10 rebounds against Atlanta, her first double-double of the season, you know what she said? It's about dang time. No false modesty, no humble bragging, just a competitor who expects excellence from herself every single night. That's the difference between Sophie and everyone else. She's not satisfied with just being Caitlin's enforcer. She wants to win, period. The Connecticut game changed everything, but it was just the beginning. Sophie's been putting the entire league on notice. Touch Caitlin? Sophie's coming. Play dirty? Sophie's watching. Think the Fever are soft? Sophie's about to show you different. And it's not just about the physical play, it's about the mental edge. When Sophie's on the floor, the whole energy shifts. Opponents think twice. Teammates play harder. The crowd gets louder. That's not luck. That's leadership. And speaking of leadership, Sophie's not afraid to call out her own team. After a loss where they shot 30% from the field, she didn't mince words. We owe the fans, she said. We're never going to shoot 30% again, I hope. No excuses, no pointing fingers, just accountability. When your enforcer is also your truth teller, that's when culture really changes. And the Fever's culture, it's becoming Sophie's culture. Tough, honest, relentless. Here's something most people don't know. Sophie's transformation started in Phoenix, learning from Diana Taurasi, one of the WNBA's all-time greats. But Sophie realized she'd gotten too comfortable. 6 years in one place can do that. So when the trade to Indiana came, she didn't see it as a demotion. She saw it as rocket fuel, a chance to prove everyone wrong, a chance to be more than just another role player, a chance to become legendary. And let's talk about that Arby's deal she landed after becoming Caitlin's enforcer. Only Sophie Cunningham could turn a basketball fight into a brand partnership. She's not just protecting Caitlin on the court, she's building an empire off it. Smart? That's an understatement. This is chess, while everyone else is playing checkers. Every controversial moment becomes content. Every fine becomes fame. Every hater becomes motivation. The cities of Detroit and Cleveland might have clapped back at her expansion comments, but Sophie's response was pure class. She clarified she respects the history. She's just thinking about player lifestyle. Broadway in Nashville, beaches in Miami. She's not wrong. Players are people too. They want to live somewhere exciting. And Sophie, she's never been afraid to say what everyone else is thinking. That's not disrespect, that's honesty. And in a league full of corporate speak, Sophie's realness is refreshing. But here's the million-dollar question. Is Sophie Cunningham the missing piece for Indiana's championship dreams? Look at the evidence. Since she arrived, the Fever have an identity. They're not just Caitlin Clark and friends anymore. They're a team with bite, a team with attitude, a team that won't back down. And Sophie? She's the heartbeat, the engine, the enforcer, the spark that lights the fire. When Coach Stephanie White talks about Sophie, you can hear the respect. She brings toughness and versatility. She's the kind of player you win with. Not the kind you play with, the kind you win with. There's a difference. And Sydney Colson said it best. She makes the hard work feel lighter. That's not just about basketball. That's about building something special, something sustainable, something championship-worthy. The transformation isn't just physical or statistical, it's spiritual. Sophie went from being too comfortable in Phoenix to being uncomfortably great in Indiana. She's pushing herself and everyone around her to be better. When she called out the motion offense on live TV and Caitlin reposted it saying, 100% with you, that wasn't drama. That was accountability. That was leadership. That was 2 stars saying we're not settling for mediocrity. And those shooting numbers lately, they're not a fluke. 5 for 8 from 3 against the Liberty, 4 for 5 against the Aces. This is what happens when a player finds their purpose. Sophie's not just shooting better, she's playing with destiny. Every three-pointer is a statement. Every defensive stop is a message. Every technical foul is an investment in team culture. You can't teach that. You can't coach that. You either have it or you don't. And Sophie, she's got it in spades. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started with Sophie Cunningham coverage. And drop a comment below. Is Sophie the best thing to happen to the Indiana Fever? Let's discuss. The future is bright for number 8. She's already planning her Sophie Cunningham Classic to spotlight young Midwestern athletes, giving back to the community that raised her, using her platform for more than just personal gain. That's the Sophie Cunningham difference. She's not just building a brand, she's building a legacy. One black belt takedown, one clutch three-pointer, one truth bomb at a time. So what's next for Sophie Cunningham? More expansion city controversy, more enforcer moments, more viral fashion statements? Probably all of the above. Because Sophie doesn't do anything halfway. She's all in, all the time. And for Indiana Fever fans, that's the best news possible. They didn't just get a player, they got a force of nature. They got a protector, they got a winner, they got Sophie Cunningham. And that WNBA championship Sophie predicted when she arrived? Don't bet against her. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's this. When Sophie Cunningham sets her mind to something, she doesn't just achieve it. She destroys every obstacle in her path. Just ask J.C. Sheldon. Just ask the WNBA commissioners. Just ask anyone who thought the Fever would be pushovers this season. Sophie Cunningham isn't just Caitlin Clark's enforcer. She's the WNBA's wake-up call. The transformation is complete. From farm girl to football kicker. From Phoenix role player to Indiana game changer. From unknown to viral sensation. Sophie Cunningham has rewritten her story and she's just getting started. So buckle up, WNBA. The Sophie Cunningham era has officially begun. And trust me, you're not ready for what comes next. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more exclusive WNBA content. The Fever's championship run starts now, and you won't want to miss a second of it.